Alright guys, welcome to Overwatch map tier list. So we're doing a tier list on maps instead of Overwatch heroes this time. So we're going to choose the maps based on a competitive standpoint, but also intertwined with a bit of bias of, you know, which maps I actually enjoy. We're also here with the real Kenzo, you know, that YouTube man.
Never heard of him.
Nah, fucking no name. So yeah, we'll get to the start. So the first map is Hanamura. Now, I hate Hanamura. Like, I absolutely hate the map.
I mean, it's a 2CP, so it's kind of based on that, but I do enjoy it personally because it's a good sniper map.
It's an alright sniper map, yeah. On a competitive standpoint, I think like all 2CP maps are kind of bad because they all have like chokes for defense. So,
and the short spawn time point as well.
Yeah. So I think like personally, I really don't like Hanamura in that aspect because you've got like, it's kind of like Paris. It's got that big main choke to get to the point and there's no other ways in apart from that choke. And I feel like that I just hate that about the game. It's like you have to come through here and nowhere else.
It's kind of like old Icon Wall where you only had one choke before they made like the entrance on the right side.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Hanamura, but at the same time I know it's an okay map. So personally, I'd say that Hanamura is kind of like a C tier map. What do you think?
Thinking about different team comps, if you would play dive, it wouldn't be that big of a deal having the choke point, but if you're playing something like rush, it's just whoever's playing more aggressive and either you win or you lose. So I don't know, I would probably put it on like C tier, but my personal preference would be probably B tier.
Yeah, it's just when I'm thinking of the second point as well. The second point is not even that good either because it's a big choke as well. Again,
the second point is kind of annoying.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of second, so I'm gonna give this a C tier. I'm not it's not one of the good maps. Right, Horizon Luna Connery, D tier.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so next.
We can't even mention that. Paris as well.
Yeah, like Horizon, just awful map. I mean,
Paris is S tier, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. So like Horizon, you've either got the choke, so you've got the big open area where you can either go left or right, but you've got to go for the main choke. And you've got damage from high ground all the time. It's near impossible to set up on attack. It's just an awful design map, and that's why they removed it from competitive play.
Indeed, it's the same with Paris, which is next.
Right, Paris D tier.
Paris an S tier map.
Yeah, sorry, S tier map, S tier. No, wait, no, we'll make a new tier. We'll call it Paris. Paris tier. Okay, so we have Paris tier because Paris is just
it's just the best map.
A good map. And just
super balanced. It's good for every kind of team comp ever. It's good for sniper, it's good for dive, it's good for rush. Just perfectly built.
Perfect. It's not Bastion centralized when the map came out and you just set with double shield with Bastion at the choke. No. Whoever made this map deserves to raise it Overwatch. The dev is just too good. Just an awful map. Right. Next is Anubis. I quite like Anubis.
Honestly, I hate Anubis.
Oh, well, here we go. I think Anubis is quite fun because there's so many places you can play. Like, the chokes are... Right, you have the main choke, right, at the start of Anubis, but you can go left before you actually cross the choke, really. So you can only take a small amount of peak time and then be away where some of the team can't shoot you. So for a 2CP map, it's not as bad as the other ones because you have other areas to go without getting utterly destroyed.
The problem is Anubis is known for being the worst map when it comes to stalling on point.
Yeah, for second point. Yeah, it's awful second point. Second point's we don't talk about that. But the first point's quite good. I quite like the first point.
First point isn't bad to be honest, but it's kind of like that in most 2CP map. First point is fine because they have longer spawns as well.
Yeah.
But second point is horrible, I guess. The thing. It's very hard for attackers since this defending team is going to be able to stand on high ground and they have like so many places to stand on, and if one is alive and they can just stall, team is going to come rushing out and it's just going to be like overtime.
Yeah, very true. I quite like the Widow part though because there's so many angles you can play for Widow on this map.
It also works if you're playing dive characters as well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You can play Doomfist, there's a lot of Doomfist spots, you can play Genji and so.
Yeah, so give it a B tier or an A tier? I mean, I like...
Personal preference, I would put it on C tier, but I would say like maybe B tier.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's quite A tier, but I'd say it's B tier. It's A tier for 2CP. It's one of the good 2CP maps. So, next is Volskaya. Meh. I think it's a meme.
Well, Sky is like a love and hate map. I play really good on it, but I hate playing it. Every time I get it, I'm just, oh, I'm an Alt F4 because it's so boring.
Yeah, it's not an engaging map, I don't think. It's like push the choke. I mean,
It's just very dull map. There's no bright colors, anything. It just, I just don't like it. I get bored playing it, but I always play good on it.
To be fair, that's what I think they were going for though. Like it was like the Russia,
yeah, but
kind of.
Russia could be beautiful, but that's just blue.
Oh,
just look at the picture there. That's the only map which is in one color. Everything else is just like bright sky or fucking flying things.
Cars, yeah, okay. The choke point, it's okay. Again, it's a 2CP map, so it's not going to be as good as the other ones, but it's not as bad as Horizon. It's a bit better than Hanamura, but it's worse than Anubis in my opinion.
I would say it's not the easiest map when it comes to stalling on second point compared to other 2CP maps.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's definitely, like, the 2CP is quite balanced on that map. I would agree on that. I'd say probably a B tier for the fact that mechanically, it's a good 2CP map, but aesthetically, it's like a Horizon. Actually, Horizon's quite nice aesthetics, to be honest, but we'll give it a B tier. So the next one is Busan. So Busan's not a 2CP map, so it's automatically better. I like it. I say Busan, I think, yeah, okay. It's not a 2CP. It's really nice looking, to be honest. The lighting is quite good in that map, so you can see people all the time. It's got decent high ground. It's got decent low ground areas. It's got high grounds, so you can see, but there's also low ground areas where you can't see the high ground, so it's kind of balanced. There's like chokes, but it's not limited to one choke. There's multiple areas to go from, so you're not restricted to one area to engage a fight. You can go on the downtown, you can go middle, left, right, and you got the other ones that I can't remember the names
I reckon it's like one of the biggest control maps in the game.
Yeah, I really like this map, actually. I mean, like, it's not really that widow friendly, apart from downtown, which is the big high one, but aside from that, the rest of them are kind of meh. But overall, as a map, it's quite good for brawl. Dive's okay on the downtown, but not so much the others. On the big open one as well.
The inside one is pretty much only brawl.
Yeah, yeah, true. You can play dive, but mainly brawl. I quite like this map, so I'm gonna give it an A tier. Would you agree with me on the A tier part?
It's better than the B tier so far, so I'll probably put it on A tier.
Yes, subject to change.
Yeah.
Ilios, S tier map. I really like Ilios, but I'm super biased. I don't know why. I just mainly
like it more than the other control maps like Leejung and Apollo Oasis, to be honest.
You can still play what you want, but be at a disadvantage. So Widow's really good on ruins, but like on the well or something, you can still play Widow, but she's not great. You'd be best to swap in that.
Yeah, the difference with Ilios and the other control maps is that Ilios has high grounds on every one of the maps.
Yeah,
you can play there.
You can play any comp on Ilios as well, really.
Yeah, because there's pretty open spaces and there's a lot of pillars you can hide behind, and there's also, like I mentioned, high ground on every one of the third maps. Compared to the other control maps, which doesn't have high grounds on all of the maps.
I can't wait for people to come going, this is fucking wrong, you stupid idiot. I don't agree with what you're saying, you're so wrong. I would deliver a very angry comment about this. You know it's true. Yeah, no, I think Ilios is S tier.
Yeah, I reckon as well, yeah.
Yeah, I really like Ilios. So we've got Leejung Tower. Leejung Tower. I'm stuck between A and S. I think it's another S tier map.
No, I'll probably put it in A tier, because I wouldn't say it's a good sniper map at all.
Yeah,
there's like not a single high ground on any of the maps.
Yeah.
There's very tight choke points. You fight on the points on every one of those maps.
True, but aesthetically it's very nice. I really like it.
Aesthetically,
it's a very nice looking map. But yeah, I do agree. It's kind of locked into chokes a lot of the time.
Yeah. Everyone just plays fucking Symmetra on Leejung Tower. That's the thing.
It is kind of
Symmetra and Junkrat.
It's not every comp versatile. I don't think. I wouldn't want to play dive on these maps, apart from maybe the open one.
Yeah, in my opinion, I would put it on B tier. That's me.
I don't think it's a B tier map.
And you can't really play dive on all of the maps either. It's almost only brawl. That's the thing.
But I don't see Leejung Tower and go, oh, it's Leejung. I see Leejung and go, yes, it's Leejung.
That's true. Like, you go Leejung and you actually kind of enjoy playing it.
Yeah. I don't go, like, if I see, like, Anubis or Volskan.
It's a fun map, but competitive standpoint, I wouldn't say it's a good map.
Yeah, I'm not saying...
You're kind of locked into the meta.
I don't think it's a B tier. I think it's an A tier at least. It's maybe not
Uh,
comp versatile, but you play the map and it's fun. The only thing that ruins Leejung is May. Because you get walled out for the chokes. That ruins the game. Nepal. Nepal is alright. It's okay. That's all I can think of. It's an okay map. It can be fun and it can't be fun at the same time. It's hard to put my
Honestly, I always lose when I play Nepal.
Yeah, I don't feel like I enjoy Nepal. I see it and I go, it's Nepal, it's okay. It's not a 2CP, but I don't see it and think it's Nepal good. Yeah, I don't like the map. The inside ones, like, it's...
I really don't like the inside one, to be
it's
honest. It's way enclosed. Like, you can stand on 2 spots on the entire map.
yeah, you're either brawling or you're like just poking each other's shields. It's kind of, or getting hall cooked. The tower, the huts one, I can't remember what it's called. You can get fired out really easy on that one. But I guess that one's a bit more versatile. But there's there's only 2 chokes there that you've got to go through, and to get any cover.
On that map, you can play dive and brawl.
Yeah.
On like the hot one, the thing in the middle.
Yeah, but you've got it, like, if you want to get, if you lose the fight, right, and you've got to get back, if you want to, like, engage a fight, if they play back, you've got a lot of damage to take before you can even start brawling.
It's very true, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of dead space of holding points. Right,
I'll put it like, I don't know, C tier maybe.
It's definitely not A. It's probably a B or C. Do you know, I'm going to put C. I really don't like the map.
Yeah, I don't like it either, so
Fight.
I was losing it.
Yeah, fight
100% lose
me. Yes, it's the map's fault. Oasis. Oasis is quite fun. Oasis competitively is also not the best. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. Because if you watch, like, it's like Contenders or Overwatch League, all of it's very centered on Brawl or like the sim comps. You can play dive and Brawl and all that, so it does enable every other comp in a way, but it doesn't bring out the most fun gameplay, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, for the inside map in Oasis, it's pretty much just Brawl.
Yeah.
Double barrier. And just like trying to push through the choke point.
It's not the best. So I'd give it a B tier. I wouldn't say it's Nepal standard or Hanamura, but I'd say it's a B. God, is this Dorado? This is Dorado, innit?
Dorado.
You like Dorado, don't you?
I like Dorado, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not so big on Dorado as well. I wouldn't say I'm not big. I think Dorado's okay.
Like the first choke point in Dorado isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Because if you play dive or if you play like any DPS series can just go high ground and the choke point isn't going to be that bad anymore.
I feel like we're just biased because any map that has a high ground's a higher tier for us because we're sniper players.
Yeah, but not only that, if you have high ground, it's going to be easier to play more characters.
Yeah, fair. The thing I don't like about this is it's too high ground centered on defense. So every map.
The second point, yeah,
no,
definitely.
The first point you're holding high ground to stop them pushing up. The second point you're holding high ground to stop them pushing up. And what are you doing on the third point? You're going on the high ground to stop them pushing up. You're never playing.
Very true, yeah.
You're never playing on the low ground. When you're defending, you're always playing from the high ground because the high ground's the better advantage. So it's extremely high ground centered. So it's either you're playing dive or you're playing shield break on the attack. And it kind of forces dive in a way because you could play double shield, but then they're going to have the advantage because they had their shield in first. So then they can put in the next shield quicker, etc. So it's really defender focused, I'd say. So I think that's Dorado's flaw. It's goodish, but the flaw is when you're attacking it's not fun, but when you're defending it's fun because you're always on the high ground.
No.
So I'd say it's probably a B tier map.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably a B tier.
Havana.
Yes.
I think Havana's A tier.
Personally, I like Havana a lot because I'm playing Widowmaker.
It's a Widowmaker map, but it's also not a Widowmaker map. You can play double shield again, you can play dive in this, and you can play brawl.
I mean, it's a very open map, but you can still play Pharaoh on it.
Yeah, and you can play Pharaoh. You can play any comp, really. The only flaw, I'd say, is the first point, because you can play snipers and just put lots of damage down, and it can be a bit boring if their snipers are really good.
Yeah. I just hold people in the spawn and Havana on the first point until they push through like the corner there.
Yeah, but even if, as well, versus snipers, if you're playing Tracer, the way you have to position, a lot of the time, you can play Tracer to annoy the ever-living shit out of the snipers and still play to an advantage as well. So it's not just locked to snipers. I think overall it's just a good map. I quite like it. Enjoyable.
The third point is very Widowmaker
Yeah,
based
I think it is probably biased for us because we are Widowmaker players, but I like the map. So Junkertown, see, now Junkertown is an A tier from me because it's a good Widowmaker map. Again, but
it's like Havana's first point. That's the thing.
But I know how other people feel about this map, and I know how I feel when I'm not playing. If I was not a Widowmaker player, so it'd go and be for me.
Like the last point and the second point are very high ground based as well.
If you're not a sniper player, this map sucks ass. I mean, to be fair, you can play dive and punish, but you can do that in any situation.
Pirate ship, I love pirate ship in this map.
Pirate ship's so counterable though. But it's not brawl friendly. It's more dive friendly or double shield friendly. It's
very hard playing brawl in this map because there's so many high grounds.
It's not that engaging because you're always looking up. Like,
yeah, I reckon most of the times when I play Widowmaker, I'm defending on this map, which is double barrier, and they use standing on points.
If it was purely biased Widowmaker, it would be S tier because it's a great Widow map, but I know how shit it is if you're not. So it's not an S tier, it's the B tier map. No, this is Rialto.
This is Rialto.
Nice. So I think
this is another good Widowmaker map.
It's a good Widowmaker, but it's also just a good map in general as well. Because you can play Brawl here, you can play Double Shield here, and you can play Dive here. Well. It's nice looking as well. Junkertown's a bit naff. But Rialto's nice looking. You can play fire because of the roofing. You can play
high grounds aren't over excessive either.
Yeah, they're not.
Stand on the high grounds, but you can also stand on use on the point.
It's a good map for any comp, really. It's maybe a tad bit sniper focused. I'd say it's probably an A tier map because it's good. I wouldn't say it's S tier because it's maybe a wee bit too sniper focused again. Maybe it's borderline. I think it's between A and S for me.
Yes.
Yes. Right, Route 66. Cart map. Not that interesting, I'd say.
I reckon Route 66 is... I mean, you can play dive, you can play brawl.
Yeah. I don't find
double barrier.
I don't find that engaging. I find it kind of boring.
I reckon it's a pretty decent map because you can play anything. You can play literally every kind of comp on that map. You can play... I mean, it's an escort map, so you can play like Bastion on payload, and you can also play dive because it's high ground in the start. It's a high ground on every point, actually.
Sure, you can play whatever you want on this map.
Yeah.
So I just don't like it personally. I don't enjoy this map.
I like that map.
It's okay, but like it's kind of... And the third point's about really...
I really like the third point, to be honest, but I hate the second point.
You like it, a lot of other people like it, I know that. I just don't like it, so it's probably an A tier map again, because it's not just sniper focused. So Gibraltar is probably B tier or C tier.
Put it in like B tier. I mean, you can play, you can't really play brawl on it.
You can't really play double shield.
Because it's very like high ground based on the two first points. On the third point you can play like whatever you want, but...
Bro, yeah, no, I don't even think this is a B tier map because this is way too focused on like dive or I think you can play double shield, to be fair.
You kinda can, but it's like mostly
dive.
Like dive.
Yeah,
and if your tanks are shit, then you lose.
Yeah, 100%. Like if your tanks don't know how to dive or your DPS don't know how to get picks, this map is awful.
Personally, I like playing it, but that's because I'm not going to make a player.
I like playing it as well, but like I don't like it in the sense of a competitive standpoint because it's not engaging as like say these maps. Blizzard World's quite a good map. Well, it's good and it's bad. It's aesthetically cool. The first choke's a bit boring, I'd say, but once you get past the first choke, it's a lot more interesting.
You can play both brawl and dive, but I mostly see like double barrier or brawl on that map.
Yeah.
And brawl either happens on top, like high ground, or it happens on the point.
You can play Widow on this map, and you can play dive, and you can play double shield, to be fair, but it's not as good because they'll just run into you as brawl. It's a lot more like cornered, compact, so you can engage fights out quite frequently. The only problem's the first choke.
I never have a problem going through the first choke point, to be honest, but that's only because I'm only go for picks then.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you're a DPS player and you're not getting picks, you're just there to do consistent damage, and your tanks are shit, then you're gonna lose.
So I don't know. I think Blizzard World, maybe B or A. Because once you get past that first point, it's quite interesting, because there's high grounds and there's brawling. Iconville.
Personally, I hate the second point in Iconville.
I don't like the second point. I don't like the third point. I don't really like the first point.
Yeah, third point is just like I usually Junkrats playing on third point.
Yeah,
any rank doesn't matter.
Junkrat is really cool. I play Junkrat. I'm a piece of shit. I love playing Junkrat. Yeah. I just like spam people out.
I always see like double barrier on first points.
Yeah, double barrier first point, double barrier or dive second point. The problem is like there's too much high ground on second. So there's like 4 angles to look. You've got top right, you've got the middle, you've got the left side of middle, and then you've got the far left, and people can play all over, and you've just got to have eyes in the back of your head for that map. I just don't think it's a good competitive map at all. So next is
Hollywood.
It's okay. It's kind of the same second point as Iconvolt though, but there's less high grounds to focus. There's just as many angles.
I wouldn't say the high ground is being that utilized. Because it's not that many angles.
And you can take the jewels on high ground as you've a bit easier. And
it's way easier to get the high ground.
And you can hide under right high ground as well, forcing them to rotate.
Yeah.
So I'll
put it on S tier, in my opinion.
You put it on S tier?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it's quite S tier for me, but we'll give you one. I'll give you a free pass. You can have the S tier.
Hollywood is an S tier. I mean, King's Row is an S tier.
King's Row is an S tier. King's Row is probably one of the best competitive maps. It is the most balanced competitive map there is.
It's like the map everyone always go when they play scrims on. Just to practice.
Scrim map is King Row. King's Row is just every comp's allowed. Like every comp works.
You can play any hero on that map. It doesn't matter.
It's a good map. It's so competitively well balanced. Competitive.
Like the high grounds aren't something the tanks will take, which will make it annoying for like the attackers or defenders. The high grounds are used for DPS players, pretty much.
Yeah, King's Row just a great map. Right, D tier.
Nimbani.
I hate Nimbani with fiery rage. I hate this map.
I hate the first point on Nimbani.
I hate it.
Very hard for the attackers unless you're playing dive.
It's so bad. It's like the amount of times I've been full held on first because of how bad that first point is. It is awful. Snipers are awful. You can play Hanzo or Farah or Echo. You have to play something aerial, something that can climb walls. Brawls is shit because you're confined to a choke room when you're brawling on the left hand side. You can push main. If you push main, they've got the high ground angle all over you, so there's not much you can do. It's just an awful designed map for first. Second is just a big open cart bit with lots of high grounds to shoot on. And third is just maybe okay.
Like, the first point is horrible. The second point isn't that bad, but I kind of dislike the third point as well because it's just that L-shaped choke point, and you only have like one way to push in that point.
Yeah, it's like I'd rather play Horizon than play Nimbani. So that finishes the map tier list. I'm not even going to say this is personal opinion because I'm still going to get angry comments anyway, so fuck you if you don't like it.